Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Spooky Sunday video. If you are new here and you've never seen my face before, then hello, my name is Khlo and I do spooky scary videos on Sundays, stuff like paranormal stuff, true crime sometimes, scary legends, all that sort of stuff. So if you find that interesting and you want to stick around and subscribe, I would love to have you join us. And if you are a new subscriber, then thank you for returning. I love you so much. But in today's video, we are going to be reacting to and reading some stories about court cases involving ghosts. I was intrigued by that, so I thought you would be as well. So without further ado, let's get on into today's video and I hope you all like it. So as always, I will have the source linked in the description so that you can go and read some of the stories because I won't be reading every single one in today's video. But I found this interesting. I was thinking, how can a ghost be related to a court case? What must have happened for a ghost to be involved in a court case? And it piqued my interest, so I thought we would read all of these stories. So the first one says, restaurateurs refused to move into a newly renovated building after hearing it was haunted. In 2005, the landlords who operated the historic Church Street Station, train station, and entertainment complex in Orlando, Florida, filed a $2.6 million lawsuit against two restaurant owners who refused to move into the property after learning that it was allegedly haunted. According to lawyers for one of the restaurateurs, the owners were Jehovah's Witnesses whose religious beliefs prevented them from having any contact with undead spirits. When the landlord offered to perform an exorcism, the restaurateurs declined on the grounds that exorcism are a Roman Catholic religious rite not compatible with their beliefs. According to one of the landlord's attorneys, I asked them if they were good ghosts or bad ghosts, and they were good ghosts. Why was it a problem? Local news sources didn't report on a financial settlement or other resolution for the suit. The Church Street Station is a well-known attraction for ghosts and aficionados, and it's a popular tourist spot for ghost tours. Ooh, so what would you do if you were a restaurant owner and the place that they wanted you to go was haunted? Would you move into it? I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, but I also wouldn't want to. But then if it was going to cost me so much money, I would probably just suck it up and just get on with it. But I kind of get it. Like, I kind of relate to them because I would be like, nah, you go in there, you have it. I don't want it anymore. I'm actually good. I'd just be terrified. Kind of sucky that we don't know what actually happened in the end, whether it was like a settlement or if they had to move in there. Kind of wish there was an ending to the story. But let me know what you would do. Would you move into it or would you be like, nah, I ain't going? This one says, the Ghostbusters ruling states that you must disclose a supposed haunting when selling a property. In the early 90s, two New York City real estate developers named Jeffrey and Patrice Stambofsky purchased a home in Nyack, New York, that belonged to Helen Ackley. The Stambofskys were unaware that the house had a long reputation for being haunted, despite the fact that Ackley had published accounts of the ghostly occurrences 3 times between 1977 and 1989, including one in Reader's Digest. According to Ackley, the house was inhabited by 3 ghosts, a naval lieutenant from the American Revolutionary War and a couple from the 19th century. But Ackley never told the Stambofskys about the hauntings. When they discovered the house's history, the Stambofskys sued Ackley for fraudulent misrepresentation and asked for the contract to be receded. I don't know how to say that word, but I think it just means ended, I guess. I don't know. In 1991, the New York Supreme Court heard an appeal of the case. The court ruled that Ackley wasn't liable for damages, but also decided that because a haunting can't be determined by a home inspection, the Stambofskys didn't have to honour the contract either. The case, Stambofsky versus Ackley, came to be known as the Ghostbusters ruling. It established that if a house had been advertised as haunted, regardless of whether or not it actually was, it's legally considered to be haunted. I didn't know you could do that. Actually, I didn't know that you had to let people know about ghosts. I knew you had to let them know if someone had died in a house, but I didn't know you had to let them know if it was haunted. So that's interesting. And I also didn't know that you could go to court about it if the person didn't tell you. But I guess it would be the same that if you bought a house and you weren't told that someone died in it and then you found out that someone died in it, it would be like the same sort of thing. Because some people don't care, but there are some people that wouldn't want to live there if there's been a haunting or a murder. I know I wouldn't want to, or like a death, not even a murder. I know I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to live in a house that's haunted, straight up. You already know what I'm like, guys. You know I fucking hate ghosts. I don't hate them. Actually, that's a strong word. I don't hate them. I know there's good ghosts, but they just scare me so much. I'm sorry ghosts. You just scare me. I also wouldn't want to live in a house that someone died in. So I feel like it's important to tell people before they buy a house, because it's a big investment. This one says Warner Bros. Was asked to prove that ghosts are real. That's interesting. Some ghosts can even become involved in copyright disputes. In 2016, Gerard Brittle, author of the 1980 book The Demonologist, which details the cases of legendary paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, sued Warner Bros. For $900 million over the Conjuring franchise. According to Brittle's lawsuit, when he signed an agreement with Lorraine in 1978 to write The Demonologist, it included an exclusive no-compete clause that forbade anybody from making derivative, I'm so bad at reading, why do I do this? Derivative works based on the Warrens' cases without Brittle's approval. Brittle's lawsuit also claimed that when he sent Warner Bros. A cease and desist letter, the company responded that it was basing the movie not on the Demonologist but on historical events. Brittle's lawsuit challenged Warner Bros. To either prove the hauntings in the Demonologist had really happened or fork over nearly $1 billion. A year after the lawsuit, Warner Bros. Settled with Brittle, rather than attempting to prove the hauntings in the Warren case files really happened. That's insane, because usually big companies like Warner Bros. Would always win because they've got money to win, and usually that writer would not have won anything. So the fact that he managed to get a settlement at least is pretty good, especially from a company that's so big. Shocking, but also an interesting fact, because I never knew that before, and I've watched The Conjuring. I think most of us have watched Conjuring. It's terrifying but interesting. This one says the People's Court made a judgment on the haunting of Tom River home. In 2012, a couple in Toms River, NJ, I think that stands for New Jersey, Jose Chinchilla and his fiancée Michelle Callan sued their landlord for $2,500 because their new apartment was allegedly haunted. The couple vacated their new home just a week after moving in because they allegedly experienced several strange phenomena, like unexplained footsteps, flickering lights, and doors slamming. The couple and their landlord, a dentist named Richard Lopez, agreed to take their case on the People's Court. Ultimately, Judge Marilyn Milan ruled in favour of the defendant, ruling that it was beyond the purview of the court to determine if an apartment is haunted. The judge ordered the plaintiffs to pay the defendant $750 for breaking the lease. Who's the defendant and who is the plaintiffs? Are the plaintiffs the couple and then the defendant is the landlord? So what happened is they could leave, but they had to pay the landlord $750 because they couldn't prove that the place was haunted. I'd be fuming. I'd be like, oh, you don't believe me? Okay, give me a week and then I would record everything. They should have done that anyway. If they knew they were going to the court, I would have recorded everything. Obviously, you're going to need evidence. And if it's happening so much it makes you want to leave, I would have recorded it. And then that's your evidence. And then you win and then you don't have to pay anything. But yeah, that's what I would have done. The last story that we're going to read says, a woman allegedly conjured spirits to cure a man's illness. In 1876, a Florida woman named E.G. Magruder approached a dying man named John Roberts and claimed she could cure his illness by conjuring spirits and reciting incantations. Roberts gave Magruder a promissory note worth $250 but died a few weeks later. In 1883, attorneys for Roberts sued Magruder, claiming she extorted the note from Roberts, who allegedly made the agreement when he wasn't of sound body or mind. Magruder's attorney argued Roberts was fully aware of the nature of her claims and hadn't been extorted. The court originally ruled in Magruder's favour but reversed the decision on appeal. Whose side are you on before I tell you my opinion? Comment down below whose side you're on before. I will wait. Okay, that's enough time. Hopefully you've commented your opinion. I would be on Roberts' side. I would be on the man's side, because why is she out here going up to a dying man knowing he's going to be desperate to find any way to cure whatever illness he had and desperate to stay alive, and then takes the money, didn't even save his life? And I do agree, I'm glad that they changed the ruling and reversed it into his favour, because he wasn't in sound body or mind and she just extorted money off him and took advantage of him, and I don't like that. So I'm glad that they reversed the ruling. Hopefully you all agree with me. I will be checking the comments to see what everyone's opinion is. But that is all the stories I have for you today. So I'm going to go ahead and end today's video, but there is more on there, so like I said, I will have the link in the description if you want to go and read some. If you like the video, please remember to smash a massive thumbs up, remember to subscribe, and until next time I will see you all soon. Peace.